Hi, boys and girls. We have been talking about past and present. So today I want you to pull out this passage, Fantastic Fossils. And you can pause the video if you need to find this. Today I really want to talk about text features and what text features are. Does anybody have any idea what text features are? Well, if you had said a title or headings, labels, captions. Sometimes there's diagrams, bullet points, bold text. These are all things in a passage that can help us to read better and to let us know what's important in the text. If this was just a page of words, it would be really boring to read. So what the author has done is included pictures with captions, bold words, broken it into chunks with a neat title. Fantastic Fossils. What are fossils? Fossils are an excellent way to see some of Earth's history. They are the remains or impressions left by plants or animals that lived a very long time ago. A fossil may be a footprint, a skeleton, or an impression in a rock. Fossils can also be bones, teeth, or shells that have turned to rock. The fossil may look a lot like it did when the plant or animal was alive, but now it has changed to rock. And I see that I have right here a heading, what are fossils? So I know that this part is going to talk about fossils. And I see the bold word impression. That tells me it's an important word. That means that it could be a footprint in a rock or a mark left in the rock. Dinosaur fossils is my next heading. What do you think this part is going to be about? If you said dinosaur fossils, you would be correct. Scientists have learned most of what they know about dinosaurs from their fossils. Dinosaur fossils have been found on every continent of Earth, even Antarctica. This tells us that they were inhabitants everywhere. Over 1,000 different species of dinosaurs have been named, and more continue to be named as more fossils are discovered. Paleontologists study the fossil remains of extinct animals. After finding a clue, such as a bone, a great amount of time is spent carefully digging. Then the paleontologists study their findings carefully in the lab. What can a fossil tell us? Scientists compare fossils to animals and plants that are alive today. This helps them learn about the extinct animals and plants. This would be impossible without fossils. Fossils can show the sizes of the animals. They can also show what the animals ate and how they lived. If you look up at the top in this box, the caption says, "Fossil of a macrocranian found in Germany." It is about the size of a hand. So even though I'm looking at this picture, reading that caption tells me that's only about the size of my hand, even though you might think it's bigger than that. Here, a fossil imprint of a fish. The author also broke down vocabulary words for us here. They're in bold: inhabitants, a person or animal that lives or occupies a place. Impression, a mark pressed down on a surface. Paleontologist, a scientist who studies dinosaur fossils. I think that would be a cool job. Down here, paleontologists study the fossil of an extinct woolly mammoth. Extinct means it no longer exists. Here is an elephant skeleton. How might an elephant be similar to an extinct woolly mammoth? Take a look at that. Do you see anything that might make them similar? I like how the caption at the bottom is asking us to compare. I see 4 legs, trunk, tails. Their build looks very similar. What you will notice in this packet, if you flip to the next page, is there is a little simpler version of the passage. So I read the first page for you. It was a little more difficult. I'm going to ask you to pause and read this section. Fantastic Fossils is our title with our headings. What are fossils? Dinosaur fossils. What can fossils tell us? And then we have our pictures, our vocabulary, with the captions and the bold text. So take a minute to pause the video and read this to yourself. If you need to rip off your 2 pages while you work on your questions, you can. Sometimes I like to have them side by side. Box number 1 is asking, what are 3 text features used in this passage? Describe how the text features used can help the reader to better understand the text. I'm going to fill in 1, 2, and 3 for you. I'm going to put in title, heading, bold print. Go ahead and pause if you need to fill those in. What I want you to do is tell me, what does the title, how does this help us understand what the passage is about? How do the headings help us as readers? And what does the bold print do? So you can go ahead now and fill that in. These are important to understand all about these features and to make sure you're always reading under the caption so that you get all of your information, because there was a lot of interesting information on those fossils. Now, I did this rather quickly, but for title, tells the reader what the passage is about. So here my heading tells me that this whole passage is just going to be about fossils. The headings tell me what each specific part of the passage is about, breaking it into chunks. Maybe on Monday you read this part, and on Tuesday you might want to read this part, and on Wednesday you might want to read this part. But you know, by reading what are fossils, you can find that information there. Dinosaur fossils and what they can tell us. So the information is broken into easy pieces. The bold print is important because it also tells us what are important words. And if I don't know what a word is, I can go over to the vocabulary section and find that word. Question number 4, with a yellow crayon, color the photo captions. Explain what information you can find in the photos and the photo captions that cannot be found in the text. So I'm going to take out a yellow crayon and I'm going to go back and I'm just going to color over, and I'm going to do the first page. You could do the first page, or you could choose to do the second page. And if I'm going too fast, you can stop the video at any time. But I highlighted the photo captions. By reading these, I learned that this dinosaur is only the size of a hand. Here we have a fish. Down here it tells me about an extinct woolly mammoth and how it might compare to today's elephants. So when I go back to answer question number 4, I'm going to put, it tells me the size of, and I'm going to use my passage to make sure I copy this dinosaur's name wrong. I put, it tells me the size of the microcranium. But you could say that it also showed you the impression of a shark or any information you had down here. So you could choose to write something different, or you could choose to write something similar to what I did. With your blue crayon, color all the parts in the text that talk about what a paleontologist is and explain it in your own words. Remember when I was reading, I said that would be a cool job. And I really focused on the second paragraph because that's where it told me the most about paleontologists. Again, this is a lot of information, so if you need to pause, go ahead. But this is what I colored in blue, this section here. And in my own words, I'm going to write a paleontologist studies dinosaurs.